and welcome to the Sunny 16 podcast for another week of film photography fun and games. I can't promise any games, that may have been a lie, but definitely fun. We have got fun. And joining me this week to help with hosting all of this amazing fun is the wonderful Claire Marie Bailey and John Whitmore.
Hello.
Team Supreme. How are you, Claire?
I'm very well, Graeme, as always. Yeah.
I'm very much enjoying. The listeners can't fully see this, although it's on video. Go to YouTube, folks. But we're getting a different look at Claire's house this week. This has been good. We're slowly getting to see piece by piece. Where are we this week, Claire?
We're in my lounge.
Very nice.
I've sort of cleared a lot of the chaos. Yeah.
Well, it looks great. And John, how are you? Have you had a nice day?
I'm distraught. I'm distraught. I actually saw Graeme in the flesh today, and I think I'm scarred for life.
It was a real treat, wasn't it? It was a real treat.
It was.
We'll talk about our adventure a little bit later because we want to get to our much promised fabulous guest. A warm welcome back to the show for the one and only Mike Caputo. Mike, welcome back.
Thank you, Graeme. Nice to be here.
It's lovely to be here with you too, and it's great to be able to share you on video for the first time as well. As somebody who is, as somebody who is a fan of, stage and screen, this seems like a perfect venue for you now.
Man, I got a face for radio. I don't know what she's talking about.
Whatever. Yeah, you're there looking tanned and cool in your fireman's, I was going to say outfit. That's not the right word. Costume. No. That's the right word.
Costume.
He claims to be a fireman. Secretly, he's just a stripper. But, but it's great to have you back with us. Guys, it's been a while since we spoke as well, Mike. I think since we last chatted, I think you've changed job. You've moved to a different station and been promoted and doing all sorts of fun stuff, aren't you, on the island?
That's right. Yeah, so I live on the east side of the Big Island in Hilo, and I got a promotion. So now I work on the west side, which is about a 2-hour drive from my house. But fortunately, I work 24 hours on, 24 hours off, and then I have a 4-day break after 3 of those as well. So it's not too bad. And the commute, there's only about 5 stoplights the whole way, all 2 hours. And you can't really complain about driving across beautiful landscape in Hawaii. So I don't mind. I don't mind the trip. It's nice because I stop and get out and take a lot of pictures along the way, too.
That sounds pretty great. And how is the weather in lovely Hawaii at the moment?
Well, it's the same as always. It's about 73 degrees, partly sunny, rainbows in the sky, and unicorns prancing around. It's beautiful.
Cut him off, John. Cut him off.
That's
sitting
it.
Down here.
We're done. Get rid of him. Right, interview's over.
Back in the day. We wanted to talk to you for lots of reasons, mostly just because it's a delight to have you back on, but especially because you have recently, I think you've only just released it into the wild, but for the last year, you've been working on and putting together this fairly spectacular collaboration of artists to produce a body of work from across all of America. So tell us what you've been up to, Mike.
Sure, except you've got the time frame wrong.
Okay.
Is
it this March? It's only this March you've done it all.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. I saw March. I read March. Went, well, this has to have taken a year because the organizational stuff needed to put it all together. Okay. Well, that makes it even more impressive. Go on then. Show off. God.
It was. It was a lot of work. A lot of work. Way more work than I thought. Initially, I thought, I'll just get 50 photographers, one from every state, and put together a little zine. It'll be a snap. I'll be done by, a few days. But
a couple of hours.
A couple of hours. It took a lot of time to put together. I would say from when the idea hit me to when I had all the photographers lined up was about 24 hours.
Wow.
I started messaging people on Instagram that I follow or who follow me, just looking at their accounts. And I put out a general message, just, hey, I'm going to put this project together, a zine featuring a photographer from each state, black and white photographs. And I told them a little bit about how it's going to be laid out, like include a bio and what type of film they use, chemistry, developing, or a lab. And just about everybody who I messaged was really excited to participate, and they wanted to be a part of it. So the list filled up really fast, and for states where I couldn't find anybody, I was getting a lot of recommendations from people who were participating. Say, oh, I know a great person for Arkansas or Wyoming or whatever. So that was also very helpful as well. And once I had the list compiled, I gave everybody a deadline of 3 weeks to either shoot fresh for the zine, because 3 weeks is enough time to at least get out and send off to the lab if you need to shoot for a day. Or I said you could go to your archive and use some old favorites to submit. Yeah, so I'm just really pleased with the way it turned out, and it was a lot of fun to work on. Even though it was a lot of work, it was really fun to put it all together.
Did you give a brief to the photographers of what you were looking for in the images?
Yeah, so I wanted to highlight mostly the photographer, not necessarily the state. It's just I was interested in the wide variety of styles of shooters all across the country. So I asked for something that might represent their geographical area or the state that they're in. See if they could send me one photo that, has some feel for that state. And the rest can be in whatever style they like, whatever type of photography they do, whether it's portrait or landscape, or whatever they like. So I asked for 5 images. I needed to be able to work with the orientation on the layout and the page. And so every photographer has anywhere from 2 to 5 images in their 2-page spread.
What was it that inspired this in the first place? Why did you one day wake up and think, this seemed, the fact you said, oh, I'm sure this will be easy. I can't imagine even you thought, oh, this will be easy. Getting artistic people to do anything in a timely fashion is like herding cats. What prompted you to take this on?
Well, I'm a good organizer. And I'm driven. Once I get an idea and I want to do it, I make it happen. That's kind of just my personality. I kind of have a forceful personality in that way. I don't know. The idea came to me. I was, thinking I'm going on a road trip in July with my family. We're going to RV across America. We're going to go, well, mostly the West. We're going to go Colorado, Texas, New Mexico. We're spending a month on the road in an RV. It's probably the last time we'll do a family trip. It's going to be the first one like that, and probably the last time, because my daughter's going to be off to college pretty soon. And I was just thinking about how I'd like to shoot it all and what films I'd like to use and how it'd be great to photograph every state. And then I started thinking about all the other photographers I know, through social media throughout the country, and about their style of photography. And then I have a zine that I put out not too long ago. It's just a color one of some color film I've shot in Hawaii. I thought, whoa, wouldn't it be cool if I could put out a zine with all different photographers featuring their own state? I thought that would be really neat. And as soon as the idea hit me, I started messaging people on social media before I even had the complete concept solidified. I just had a general idea of what I wanted. I'm like, hey, you want to do this? You want to join? And then I started, typing up a more copy and paste type message I could send out to invite more people. So yeah, and I couldn't believe it. 48 hours at the most, we had everything filled up.
Wow.
Did you have a pretty good idea of a lot of the people you wanted to get in touch? You said you found it easy to get in touch and find people. Did you have a pretty good list of at least a chunk of the states? Yes, I know the person in that state. I know the person in that state. Or was it more a case of reaching out as a general message and saying, look, if you're in this state and you're up for doing this, would you be on board?
There were, I would say, about 30% of the photographers, or maybe even more than that, maybe like 50%, I might have known through social media, never having met in real life. And so the other 25 were complete strangers that I just reached out to. or were recommended by other people. So I had, my first pick for people I know. Oh, okay, I know this guy. I'll send him a message. And I might have got 10 people that way. And then it was really hard because I couldn't figure out where all these people I follow were from. I had to dig through their social media accounts and see if, okay, this person's from Michigan. Okay, I know who's in Michigan. So, or the same thing, Montana. Oh yeah, this guy might be from Montana. All right, so I'm sending them a message. And yeah, it came together. I'd say that first 2 days, I probably spent 10 hours a day messaging back and forth between people. So that was a big, I felt such relief when I hit 50. I was like, yes, I've got all the states covered. Okay. So,
did you have a map on the wall where you were like pinning in people's photos into each state?
Well, so I say I'm organized. What I did was I made a list and I put everybody's Instagram handle, because that's how I got this whole thing filled, was through Instagram. I put their Instagram handle by their state. And then I just kept re-messaging myself that list. And I'd message other photographers as well. Hey, this is who we've got filled so far. This is who's representing this state. If you know anybody for the other states that might be a good fit, let me know and I'll ask them. I'll invite them. And so I kind of looked at everybody's profiles too and the type of photography that they do and their pictures and stuff. And we have everyone from, I didn't want just all professionals or all amateurs. It's a nice wide range of, everybody from beginning enthusiasts to people who, are award-winning professionals. And that's all they do is photography and art and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a nice combination of a little bit of everything.
Was there something in particular that you were looking for when you started going through people's profiles and hunting people down? Did you have an idea of the kind of, you've already mentioned that you wanted everyone to submit at least one picture that represented their state in some way, shape or form, and then other pictures that were more just demonstrative of the rest of their work. But when you were going through, were you looking through this with a particular visual style in mind for the feel of the book, or was it more a case of, no, I just want to find somebody who I like is good, and it doesn't matter how they're good, just as long as they're good?
Yeah, even the whole good part wasn't too important to me because I just, I enjoy all different kinds of photography. I enjoy looking at all different types of photography. And good is a real subjective word too, right? Some people could really like a person's style or photography. Another person could say, oh, that's rubbish, right? It's all subjective. So I was just more concerned with them being as passionate about film as myself. Maybe not as bad. I love it, so just that they use film and it's black and white film. Those were the criteria, right? You have to have black and white film images. I need 5, something that represents your state somewhat, and then the rest in your own particular style. And you got to have it to me by 3 weeks, and you got to have all this other stuff too. But it was, I met a lot of great new, interesting people because of it. Really pleased about that. I had a lot of fun putting it together and just, communicating with all the photographers and stuff. So it was a really fun project to work on. And like I said, I was driven to get it done. I put all my personal stuff on hold, and I from the deadline to when everybody submitted their photos to when I actually put it out was 1 week.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's insane. Why? Okay, why such a short turnaround time? Why was that important to you?
I'm tenacious when I have an idea. I
think the word you're looking for is really impatient. That's not tenacious. That's really impatient.
I'm just, I get on a project on one thing, and then I just focus on that. I just focus on that one thing until it's completed. And it wasn't like the speed of it wasn't about the speed, because I would spend sometimes an hour or 2 hours just on one particular page, playing with the photos on the page, playing with the different images they sent me, and what I thought personally looks best with their photos and the layouts and might tell their story the best. So, you know, it wasn't about speed. It was just about a passion for putting out a really good final product. And I enjoyed working on it.
Given the incredibly short timeline, 3 weeks, I mean, like I could manage the part where it doesn't need to be good. That I got nailed. But 3 weeks, seriously, how many people were actually able to do what you needed and get you the results in 3 weeks? Did you have many people who you originally sourced that just couldn't make that?
There was one. One couldn't make the deadline, and I had to get him replaced. Yeah.
Yeah. That's very impressive. Which state was the one that let you down?
I'm not saying that. So when that happened, I went out and I just started searching hashtags and all kinds of stuff to find somebody for that state, and messaging a few people. And one guy got back to me. He's like, I'm on it. I'm in. I've got tons of stuff in the archives too. And, you know, he had great pictures, and he had the stuff to me with the bio and all that information in an hour. He's like, oh yeah, I want to be a part of this. So yeah,
that's fantastic.
I was fortunate. I was really fortunate in that I thought for sure, okay, I've got over 50 people, 50 photographers and artists. I'll be lucky to get, you know, 70% of them in on time. And everybody was super prompt. And I sent out some reminders too, you know, hey everyone, just want to let you know we're on track. A lot of people have been submitting, and people sent me stuff early too, people who were using stuff from the archives. So I was able to begin with the layout and kind of get a feel for it. And while I was doing that, I was also sending it out to everyone participating. Hey, this is kind of what the zine is going to look like. Here's a feel for it. So you have an idea of what images you might want to send and how they might look on the page.
Let's talk about the work that's in there for a bit, because the work of 50 disparate artists coming together, were you surprised by what you got sent in the first thing? Was there anything that you got coming through that really stood out? Was there stuff that you just never expected that you would see? How did you feel when the people's images, either from the archive or new stuff, started arriving?
I was blown away by how good it all was, how impressed I was by all the photography. And as more and more people kept sending me their photos, I thought, wow, there's some really good work in here. A lot of it, most of it is spectacular. And I said, okay, I've taken on a big responsibility here to show all these people's work in the best way possible and make sure I do a good job with the layout and presentation, because that's, you know, 50 photographers sending me their work, and they're putting their trust in me to put out their images in a nice way as well. So I wanted to make sure that they were happy with their layouts too. So sometimes when I'd finish a layout, I would send it, hey, what do you think of this? And I'd get feedback from them. And just about everybody said, oh no, I really like how it's turned out. And so I was just blown away by the amount of different styles and techniques. And I really like seeing the chemistry, the development, you know, the cameras used, and just how much the styles vary through it all.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you enjoyed that curation aspect, you know, so you've got all the work, and then how much time you spent curating each page so that they all complemented each other and worked together. Did you enjoy that?
It was fun. I really did. I spent a lot of time with each page because I wanted it to look, you know, like, again, it's all subjective, but I just wanted a nice, clean layout that kind of really focused on the images which is why all the film notes and chemistry
Yeah.
types and all that stuff, I put it at the end because I tried it at first on the page and it seemed to take away, like the more words that were on the page, the more it took
Yeah.
away from the images.
Yeah.
So I wanted very simple, clean layout that really showed off the photography.
Mm.
But so what you're looking at right now is it's the title of the state, the photographer's name, and whatever bio they sent me, and then that little blip underneath that is their social media or their website information.
I thought you were going to say it's their social security number, which seemed like a bit of an overshare to me. So
did you work it with each when you curated it, Mike? Is each page work from the same artist, or have you put a couple together? So that's how you've
No, so each page is one artist, and it goes in alphabetical order of the states. So you open up the book, it's Alabama, and by the end it's Wyoming, and each artist has the left and right page. So that information on the left page is the state, the artist, their bio, and their contact information. And then on the right page is also their photos.
Yeah.
Did you notice any trends within the photography? You know, what did you see similarities within clustered states, or was it all very independent of that? You know, would you say you saw an East Coast, West Coast split or stuff like that on it?
Well, like right here, you're taking a look at Missouri right now, right? So you got the guys with the long beards and the whiskey barrels and the sheep out there. I mean, you do kind of get a feel for each state as you flip through the photographs, which is really nice. And some states have more than one photographer. So
that's good. It's a lot of responsibility for one person.
I had sent out invitations, and I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to tell this person no. It's a big zine, and it's a big country, and it's my fucking zine, so I'll do what I want to do, right? So some states have more than one. We got the Electoral College anyway, so there you go.
That's all that matters. That is all that matters. Are there any that particular, like, do you have any particular favorites from this? Is there any work in this that really you saw and went, oh wow, this is amazing?
Yeah, there are. Look at this picture you're on right now, for example.
That's lovely.
I mean,
yeah,
just beautiful.
So who is this, John? You can see more clearly than we can.
What state are we in now?
I can't see the name. Let's zoom in if we can.
There you go, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Sorry.
So for the benefit of people who are listening to this, what John's currently doing is flicking through the virtual book on Blurb, which is where you're selling this through, right, Mike?
Yeah, that's a preview you're flicking through right now.
This is Raymond. Is it Ray? Does it say Raymond Lars? Is that
Ray LaRose? Yeah, from New
Rose,
Hampshire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he shot that on an 8x10.
Oh, really? So you've got a real good selection of formats as well as subject matter.
Oh yeah, from 35mm to 8x10, and there are a couple of wet plate artists in there as well that make their own emulsions. Yeah. Illinois has a wet plate. North Dakota does. Yeah. I figured, well, black and white film, or if you make your own emulsion, that's pretty good too.
Yeah, we'll allow that. We'll allow that. Why did you go for black and white, given what a diverse country America is, and what and the
well, there you go. So right there, I put an introduction, to start off the zine, and why I chose black and white. I love black and white photography, and I have a darkroom, and it's mostly what I do, but also, it's the most. I think it's the most fundamental aspect of photography, right? Most fundamental form. You get black and white film, right? Bunch of little tiny individual grains that make up the whole, right? Just like the country, shades of gray, right? So I just really love black and white photography, so that's why I chose black and white. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a volume 2, and volume 2 will be the color. All different photographers. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, are you going to do a second one?" And yeah, I think I might. I gotta let this one simmer for a little while and work on some of my own personal stuff, but maybe there will be a volume 2 down the road.
So I'm assuming that you submitted your own work for Hawaii. Would that be correct?
Yes. Yeah, I represented Hawaii.
That's good. It would have been weird if you hadn't. Let's face it. What did you choose to share? What pictures did you share?
So the first picture I used was my daughter. She's on stage performing hula, so she's dressed up. And the outfit that her halal wears. And then on the other page, I have some shots with the Nikanos. I shoot with the Nikanos a lot in the water. And so there you go. You have a palm tree and its reflection, and then some surf. I surf all the time, so I bring it out there. And then swim with sharks. I was swimming with some sharks with the Nikanos, so took some snaps of that.
That's awesome. They're beautiful pictures.
The way you've got the line of the surfer coming down over to the top of the whale, that's really nicely edited.
Thanks. That's a shark, though.
Sorry, a shark.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
Big wet underwater thing. Did you find it fairly, I suppose, because you'd given yourself the structure that you were going to go alphabetically through the states, things just had to follow on from one another. Did you find that worked fairly well, that being as it was all black and white, that it all tied together fairly well? Or were there any times where you found yourself going, the transition from this page to the next is quite jarring because of the different styles of work?
No, I think it keeps it interesting. If you're flipping through a book and everything's very similar, then you could get bored. So I really like that the orientation on the pages changes from page to page. There are similar layouts throughout the book, except when you go from page to page, they're usually changing, which is kind of nice. It keeps the eye interested, I think. And I told Alabama, I said, yo, Jeremiah, you got a big responsibility, brother. You're the opener. I need some good stuff from you.
And did he deliver? That's the important
question. He certainly did. If you go to Alabama,
go on, let's see Alabama.
Beautiful photos.
So we'll have a link to this page with the blurb preview in, so people can go and have a look and order and buy the book directly from there.
Yeah, I figured the best way to do it was to be able to order individual prints, individual copies, instead of myself ordering 100 or 200 or whatever, and then having to ship them out to everybody. So I use Blurb. I've got one thing from them in the past, and I like it. It's pretty nice, a nice satin page and good weight to it. So I was pleased. And this way it relieves me of the responsibility of having to personally mail all these things out. So you could go directly to Blurb. And right now there's actually a discount going, 25% off discount if you use the code TEAM25. Team and then the number 2 and 5. Get 25% off.
That's pretty awesome. How long is that going to last for?
I have no idea. Probably not long. It's not me that puts it on. It's the printer. They come out with these sales all the time. Yeah. So right now there's one going on. I just noticed yesterday.
Run, don't walk. Although by the time you hear this, you may have already missed it. Whatever. But still, go and see it because it is beautiful. I mean, you mentioned before that you have your own darkroom, the Hawaii Darkroom, and you love printing and you love having control over all aspects of that. Is it more difficult as somebody who likes to have that control, to have stuff just coming in that you just have to accept, okay, this is just how it is? Or do you find that it's, does it irk you sometimes to look at a print and go, if I could just get my hands on the negative and just tweak this a bit, or are you very cool about stuff like that?
No, I never thought that at all. When I got everyone's photos, I was very pleased with what everyone sent. And some sent more than 5, which kind of frustrated me because I was these are all good. I don't know what to use now. I just wanted 5 to be able to play with the orientation. I wanted the photographer to basically choose 5 images where all of them could be on the page.
Yeah.
The only time I didn't use all 5 was because I would feel that too much going on the page. or something is worthy of just being on the page alone by itself because it's so good. So these were the kind of things that I was frustrated with, is just wondering if I'm presenting the images in the best way possible. Everybody's work was wonderful, beautiful, and I just hope that everyone's pleased with how I presented their photos. And so far I've gotten nothing but positive feedback, which makes me very happy.
Oh, it looks
from
fantastic.
the photographers,
it looks really beautiful. It's quite a good little snapshot also of just film usage across the country. You said that some states you found it a bit trickier to find people than others. I mean, do you think that's just because of your own personal social media groupings that people around there? I mean, did you get a feel for where the country is at in terms of how popular film photography is? I'm guessing that there's some states where there is a real overabundance of people shooting films. California cannot have been a hard state to find anybody who's shooting film. Is there anybody not shooting film in California who would like to submit to this scene?
I had the hardest time finding North Dakota, Arkansas, and even neighboring Indiana. Indiana is close to, right next to Illinois, where I'm originally from. So eventually I just put out kind of a cryptic message on my Instagram story. I said, hey, anybody from these states right here, I've got something cool going on. Message me if you are. Because most of the people I think who follow me are film shooters anyway. And so I filled up a couple states that way. They messaged me back. I said, oh, great, here's what's going on. And they said, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to participate. And then I made a few cold calls too for a couple of states. I just had to search through hashtags, do Google searches, film photographers. Some of them were kind of tricky, but eventually I was able to find somebody. Like Georgia, for example, I was trying to fill Georgia, and I wound up messaging this lovely young lady in the country of Georgia. And she got back to me and let me know that that's the wrong Georgia. But you know what? We wound up following each other, and she's a wonderful artist, actually. And I'm glad I accidentally messaged her.
That's really cool. Do you think that is it because film photography is just not as well spread within these states that you found it more difficult to find people, do you think?
I really have no idea. I mean, who knows why you follow someone on there? You just like the layout, their pictures, or you have a nice repertoire with a certain person, so you follow each other, right? And I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Not me, clearly. So you said, Mike, that before you even think about doing a volume 2, I mean, have you thought maybe, like, now you've got 50 states in one book, just kind of go through state by state by state, just like a book per state? I mean, that'll keep you out of mischief for at least, I don't know, a year, I guess, the speed you get through it.
Oh man, I don't know. That sounds like fun. Like a lot of work though too.
Yeah, it really does.
One a week.
I'm just happy with this one. I'm gonna let it marinate for a little while and see the reception of it. And if there's a lot of positive feedback, I would be interested in doing volume 2. And like I said, for the next one, I think what I'll do is put out a calling, hey, I'm going to do volume 2 and it's going to be in color. Let me know if you're interested and submit stuff and then choose them that way and it'll be all different photographers. Every single state will be different. So I have ideas, but the work in finding 50 photographers, like I say, I had it done in 2 days, but when I say that, I mean, I was going for 2 days straight finding all these people all day long. Yeah.
You should do that for Wales, Claire.
Yeah.
It'd be a bit easier for you, wouldn't you? When you got what? How many different counties are there in Wales? 7, something like that. I'm not even sure how many there are. But definitely that'd be good. Might be good. So what else are you doing for yourself then, Mike? What other projects are you working on at the moment?
Well, I'm working on my own book. So I put that on the side. Just a collection of my black and white photography since I got into it about 2015, I think, is when I really started shooting film again.
Mhm.
So just going through the archives and kind of trying to put out my own hardcover book. And that's actually what I'm going to do with this 50 on film. I'm going to turn it into a hardcover limited run down the road.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because most of the people who participated were asking me, they're saying they would really like a hardcover version of this as well.
Mhm.
So
That does sound cool.
yeah, and darkroom stuff. My projects are just printing in the darkroom.
Yeah.
There's some galleries, local galleries in town that I give my prints to, and they put up and sell over there. So just basically printing. Yeah.
Did everything that's gone on over the last year affect what you're doing much?
No, not at all.
Really?
Zero, actually. Yeah. I mean, I live on an island in the middle of the ocean, and it's a pretty rural place.
Yeah.
And I'm always outside doing stuff anyway, or at the beach surfing, or at my darkroom studio. And I never closed it down. We only have like 5 members, and I consider it an essential business. So
It's essential to you.
I've made right at the beginning of all this, I made a permit. I have a permit. It's got a little American flag on it, and then under that it says I can do what I want, and it's got my name. So there you go.
That's legally binding. I'm pretty sure that's legally binding.
Mike, because you do so many photographs, like when you're out surfing or in the water, do you have to adapt your cameras for the water?
No, I use the
waterproof?
Nikonos or
Okay.
Nikonos. Yeah, I call it the Nikonos. Yeah, so it's a 35 millimeter camera put out by Nikon, I think in the 70s. Jacques Cousteau, I believe, designed the original one. Sold the patent to Nikon. And I use a Nikon 2 mostly. It's all mechanical. No light meter or anything like that. And it's kind of compact. It's small, so it's easy to surf with.
Is that what it looks like?
The waves are good. That's the 5.
Yeah, it's 5.
That's a nice one. Oh, right on. Yeah, you got one, John. Sweet.
I really wanted the orange one, but I could only get a decent price on the green one, unfortunately.
Why have you
that's the Nikonos 5. That's a really good camera. So the 2 and the 5 are my favorite. But the 5 is a little big if you want to surf with it as well.
Yeah, it's beefy, isn't it?
Smaller. Yeah, you knock your teeth out with that sucker.
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of waterproof covering on it though that you've made for your camera in case it fell in, or is that?
That's it.
It is waterproof.
Yeah.
Oh, it's waterproof. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
John, pop out the lens. Show her. So you can change the lenses too.
Oh,
they
yeah,
have O-rings in them. So the whole thing is waterproof. Yeah,
Fantastic.
the entire camera, you could, I don't know, 65 meters or so at least.
Oh,
It's very
There we go.
timely, actually. We
There
put
we go.
a show out on
have a look.
we put a show out on Sunny 16 Presents this week. Paul Friday talked about all the different cameras that he's used out diving and stuff. It's fascinating because there are so many different approaches depending on your budget and your dedication to it. From taking cameras out that have housings, taking cameras out that are just plain waterproof. I've got a couple of waterproof point and shoots. There's depending on how seriously and what you want to do, there's loads of different things. You can apparently take a Holger out in a plastic bag and know anything about that, Mike?
Yeah, that's always a fun one I like to do. I paddle out it in a Ziploc bag in my mouth, paddle out on the surfboard, but the thing is, you gotta pull it out of the bag when you take the picture because it looks like a dog shit if you shoot it through the plastic bag, right?
Yeah.
So you got to take it out of the bag and try not to get wet or fall off your surfboard while you're snapping it out there. But I've done that with the Holga. It's fun, but I really love using the Nikonos. And then I just bought a Nikon Action Touch, which is a waterproof Nikon. and I swam out double fisting with both to see. The Nikanos wins hands down. I mean, the lens on the Nikanos is really nice, really sharp. Good for land. I mean, even on land.
I've used this out of water, and it's absolutely fine, isn't it?
It's a nice lens, right, John?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
surprisingly, really. Because I thought underwater lenses were corrected because of like how the light change. I don't know the science behind it, but the light refracts differently underwater, doesn't it? So they have to focus differently or something. Is that right?
Well, some of those lenses say underwater lens. I'm not sure if it makes much of a difference. I use them both, because I primarily shoot them above water anyway. I shoot surfers. Only recently I've been diving down more and taking pictures underwater, which is kind of fun.
Yeah,
I can say that my big yellow brick, my Minolta Weathermatic, isn't great above water, but equally, I'm not sure if it'd be great below water either. However, my Canon Sure Shot, I think it's the AF, whatever it is. Anyway, the waterproof Canon Sure Shot that I've got is pretty great above ground. Above ground, great above ground. Terrible if you've been buried alive. But again, other than taking it in the bath, I haven't really had much chance to take out because I don't go surfing or anything like that because I'm not a water baby.
You should do a podcast from the tub, Graeme.
I think everyone would love that, wouldn't they?
No.
Everyone would love a video show from the tub, John. John's shaking his head. Like,
are you gonna wear a full wetsuit while you're in the tub? That's the only
I'm gonna wear one of those Victorian bathing suits and the rubber ring. I think that would be the look I would go for. That's what I normally wear to have a bath. So I mean, it seems only fitting that I would. Talking about Darkroom stuff, I think it's be a good time to maybe talk about the adventure that John and I went on today, because I think you'd appreciate this, Mike. So we talked about this briefly last week. I bought at auction a large format Enlarger, and today John and I went up to Stoke-on-Trent, met up with Simon Forster and Brian at the Six Towns Darkroom, and picked, with almost back-breaking strain, it up. It was quite heavy. It was a fun adventure, wasn't it, John?
It was a great day. I'd highly recommend it. If Graeme ever suggests to you to go for a drive somewhere, go for it. Don't hesitate. Jump in the car.
That doesn't sound like sarcasm at all.
If you ever feel like there's some swear words that you haven't heard yet, and you just want to double check on maybe a refresher course, then but yeah, it was cool. We got to see the Six Towns Darkroom where Simon and his friends are set up there. That was a very cool darkroom and photography studio there, and picked up the Micromat, which micro seems quite misleading, I think, John. It's quite large, isn't it?
Yeah, it's false advertising, that. But it
The
fortunate
the Megamat. Yes, thank you, Claire.
Fortunately for you, I think you've actually got yourself a bit of a bargain there, because it looks like it's in really good condition, and I think you're actually going to get some use out of it. There's a real danger at like buying stuff like that on a whim, isn't there? And a bargain base that it's not going to have all the parts there, and it's going to cost you a fortune, or it's just completely unusable for whatever reason. But I actually think you've got yourself a bargain there.
Yeah, I get the impression that this is obviously quite an old Enlarger, and the good thing about older stuff is that it tends to be well made but simpler. And the downside is that it also weighs a ton because they built everything out of cast iron and concrete. But having got it home, it seems to fit in my shed without needing to take the roof off. I've been assured by Simon that the light works. The only problem that I've got is that the electrics plug into an enlarger timer, and I've had a look, and the plug that's on this enlarger that I've got does not match up with the timer that I've got. So going to have to get a new enlarger timer for that, but that seems like a surmountable problem.
I think you could probably just wire a different plug onto it.
Do I strike you as the sort of person who should be wiring anything to anything ever? How loud a bang do we want to have? I mean, we've got a trained fireman here. Are you prepared to come all the way over from Hawaii and put out the fire in my shed when I ignite the place, Mike? How quickly can you be here?
Nope.
No. Fair enough. But yeah, it seems good. I'm excited by it. It's got the lenses and everything that I need to be able to do 4x5, and I think it's also got a frame in there for 6x6 and for 35mm. Although I can't see me doing much 35mm in there just because it's quite low down. But yeah, it looks good.
It's unnecessary for 35mm, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So the next stage is going to be getting it bolted onto a table to hold it upright. And then, yes, addressing the wiring situation. I mean, this is one of the downsides with using very old bits of electrical kit, is that the wiring is never contemporary with anything. And also, it's got old fabric covered cables on it and stuff like that. So I think at some point I might get an electrician just to look over it and maybe rewire it for me, because it's sitting in the corner of a wooden shed. This seems the words fire hazard seem really appropriate for it, because I'm guessing it draws quite a lot of power, because it's got a big cold cathode. That's right, it's got a head on it.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's going to throw a really awesome light down and make for really nice prints. But yeah, there's some bits on it that needs sorting out. But yeah, on the whole, it seems very clean. It's certainly the cheapest way of getting a large format Enlarger. I mean, this thing cost me, I think, including the auction fees, £62.50, which
what
is...
What model is it?
It's an MPP Micromat. I think it's an old press room kind of thing. Yeah, it is a bit cumbersome, but I think it's very cool, and I'm excited to get up and working. I really am. And whilst it's not quite up and ready yet, it'll give me a chance to give it a good clean, oil the bits that need oily on it, give it a bit of TLC. But it goes up and down. The focusing thing focuses, the stuff all slides in, the lens is on it. It's got 2 lenses with it, which both seem to be in good condition. So,
you should? Yeah.
So yeah, all good, all good. Random fire.
It must be old, because I'm trying to find a picture of it.
Yeah.
Online.
Good luck.
They don't exist. Only one was ever made.
Yeah, I think it probably dates back. What do you reckon, John? 50s?
I've got no idea.
You got no idea.
I got no idea. I'm not even.
I'm going to guess probably around the 50s, because, as I said, it's got stuff for 35mm, which makes me think, well, I mean, it could have been earlier for 35mm, but I think it's probably from around there. But yeah, like I said, it's a good, cheap way of getting a large format Enlarger. If
fantastic. That's
don't
excellent.
mind going to the hassle. So I'm excited about that, because large format is fun.
How's your luck been with developing large format and like the images?
I think I'm still at the point. The honest answer is I'm still at the point where when I get an image full stop, I'm like, woo, I'm quite happy. I am so far the only film stocks that I've shot large format are Fomapan. I think Fomapan 200. I think I've only shot Fomapan 200, and some old expired Kodak orthochromatic film from the late 1980s. Now, obviously, the stuff from the late 1980s, that's a bit of a crapshoot regardless, because it's old film, and I don't have any technical details about when it should be developed, etc. So, but I mean, I've had fun results. And the Fomapan, I've got okay results with that, but I don't think I've really nailed it yet. I think from listening to other people talking about it, Fomapan seems to be one of those film types that you really need to match it up well with a developer to get the best from it. I don't know. What do you tend to shoot, Mike?
Mostly Tri-X 400 or HP5. But I don't shoot much large format. I have all the gear. Occasionally I go out. I just find medium format so much more convenient, and I have so much better luck with medium format. Or not luck. I'm just I always wind up messing up large formats. I really do like the Ilford direct positive paper. So when I do shoot large format, I tend to use that because I just love the way the depth in those and that they're individual prints themselves. And so I'll put those in an 8x10 frame and they look great in there. You know, the 4x5 and that 8x10 frame just on a whiteboard. Really nice. I love that stuff, that direct positive paper.
Have you shot with that much, John?
Not a lot. I always struggle with getting the exposure right on them, but when you get it, it's a beautiful thing.
Exactly. That's right. I mean, it's difficult to nail it, but when you do, it's awesome. It looks so good.
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like it means that you don't like. You're not going through the whole, I've got to develop it and then I've got to try and create an amazing print from it. It's like, it's just there straight away, isn't it? Yeah, no messing around.
Yeah.
I've got a print done.
That's nice.
Because we were talking about large format today because you're, as we mentioned last week, you're in the middle of this project, John, for the Coventry City of Culture stuff. So you're in the middle of large format things. You basically stole a couple of lenses from me today. And what are you shooting that on?
I'm shooting on Delta 100 and FP4, and I've got some Foma 400 as well. But like I was saying to you earlier, I struggle with that. But like you're saying, I think it's down to the developer. So I use ID11, and I just don't think it copes very well with Foma. Doesn't react very well with that. Yeah.
Do you shoot a lot of FP4?
Yeah, like mainly 35mm. I've kind of gone off medium format a bit at the moment, but 35mm. I shoot a lot of FP4.
So I've never shot it before, and I just ordered 100 feet in 35mm.
I've never shot it, so I'm just dipping my toe in with 100 feet of it.
Right. Well, the price point is really good. It was what sold me on it, and looking at images online, you know, I just did a little bit of research because I normally shoot Tri-X in medium format, but for all my water stuff, you know, they're 35mm cameras. That's really the only time I shoot 35mm when I go out in the water. Tri-X is just so damn expensive now. 100 feet was like $130, and I saw FP4. I found it for $75.
That's good. Yeah.
On the Film Photography Project website.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna order a few cans of this, and I've never shot it before, and I was kind of like trying to find images that were developed in D76, stock D76, because that's what I use.
Yeah.
At the Darkroom, and they all look pretty good, so I'm really excited to try it out.
So I use ID11, which is the same as D76 for FP4, and I pushed that to 800 in ID11, and like it's really contrasty, but it's nice. The only reason, like for the water stuff, the only thing I don't think I've ever shot FP4 in the water because it's normally too miserable in the UK, so I need a faster film. But you'll be all right in Hawaii, won't you?
Yeah, I'm really excited to try it out.
I look forward to seeing the results.
Yeah, FP4 is a great film. It's weird. Is that one you use much, Claire?
No.
Is it too cheap for you? Because I know you've been looking to spend £100 on the roll of aerochrome today. Is FP4 just too bargain basement for you?
No. When I shoot 35mm, I tend to use Kodak. I love Kodak, so I tend to use Kodak Gold, Kodak Color Plus. But I really would like to have some Kodak aerochrome film, which of course it's not produced anymore, and it's really expensive. So I've seen John's laughing. I've seen some in Russia. So I messaged I messaged today to say, what's your advice here? Do you think I should go for a roll? It's like super expensive.
What do you think, Mike?
I love the result. I love the the results you can get.
So you
Mike,
shot this,
Mike,
have you,
do
Mike?
you think Claire should spend £100 on one roll of
Well, I was fortunate. I was gifted that role by him. He gave me a couple rolls to shoot, so to try it out. I had sent him some stuff, and he sent me a couple rolls, and I think it's wonderful. It's beautiful stuff. I don't have the money to spend $100 on a roll of film. So.
I don't, but
that's all relative. You know, if you got the cash to burn, go right ahead.
I don't.
Yeah, do it.
That's the thing. But I was just like, But what was the success rate from your roll then that you shot? You know, how many images did you get that you were happy with from one roll? Because Graeme was saying you were reckoning.
You know what I did? Even though I had one roll, I bracketed it.
Sorry. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
I figured if I'm gonna shoot it, I'm gonna get at least. I'm gonna take my time composing what I want to. I'm gonna bracket the images, and I'll know at least I'll get 3 or 4 really good ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 or 4, Claire. That's only £30 a shot. You should do that. You should definitely do that.
It's a beautiful film that I'm just sort of in love with that with the film stock, you know. But yeah. Do you think it will ever come back? Do you think it will ever come back?
No.
I think it's quite tricky and of limited demand. Sadly, but I mean, it's also again, you shot it, Mike. I mean, can you talk a bit about the process of shooting it and what you have to think about and look for when you are shooting it? Because it isn't just like loading up any other roll of film, is it? The time of day that you're shooting at, I think even the time of year, sometimes, like, because you're dealing with infrared light. These things you can't see the light that you're working with, so you have to make some assumptions based on when infrared light's supposed to be good and bad, like time of day, all that stuff. Do you have any advice, or did you just go out there and wing it?
I just winged it. I kept the sun behind me for anything I shot. I didn't want to shoot into the sun, so I shot whatever was lit by the sun, and it was a sunny day. I don't think there were many clouds in the sky when I shot it. I shot it around noon. And I just used the orange filter, held it in front of my camera, and metered for that, and bracketed, you know, 1 stop under, 1 what was recommended, and then 1 above, just to make sure. And I think I did get the best results from the correct exposure, whatever the meter read through the filter that I was using. I think those are what actually turned out the best.
Thanks, Mike. Did you have to watch what camera you used with it as well? Are you supposed to?
I shot it in the Minolta autocord.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Claire. I think the thing you're going to mention is that some of the more modern cameras, if they've got a little LED in there for whatever it is they have a little LED inside for, it can fog the film. I can't remember what it's for. It's for frame counting or stuff like that. But yeah, I think you do have to be careful with that. There was another thought that I had that has absolutely exited my head. So it must have been a really good one.
YOLO, Claire.
Sorry?
It's don't encourage
these.
I live once.
Who's invited him on?
I know. I thought to myself, well, I've been in, we've been locked down for ages, haven't been anywhere, so.
What's one roll, right?
I actually think if you've got a specific project and an image in mind that you know you can make a return on by selling prints or something, or it's for an exhibition that you're putting funding towards for whatever reason, you can justify that cost. As long as you know you're getting that one shot. You know,
and to be fair, Claire, let's face it, we all primarily know you for your work shooting leaves and trees and stuff. That's what, when I think of your work, I think, oh yeah, greenery. That's what Claire's going out there and shooting. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's not at all.
Yeah. But it could be, but nice. No, I love it. I love it. And those images that we just saw of yours, Mike, were really, really nice with the one with the water. Was it like a waterfall coming down on one?
It was a waterfall.
Yeah, really.
And another was just a line of palm trees.
For listeners, it's absolutely beautiful.
The picture
the colours that you've captured. You've got those reds those kind of deep reds that I think, you know,
But is
it's
it
magic.
£30 worth of beautiful?
Yeah, it's £30 worth of beautiful.
So here's another thing. When I sent it out to the lab to get it developed, and got standard scans back. But when the negatives came back, I scanned them on my scanner, and I scanned them huge, like gigantic. So if I want to print them out, I have these nice big scans that I can make big prints.
Lovely.
So that's just I don't know if you develop your film or if you send it all to the lab, but another possibility.
Yeah, would you have to give, if it went to a lab, would you have to pre-warn them, obviously?
Yeah.
In big letters. This is
What is the development? Is it C41 or is it something
E6?
E6.
It's E6.
Yeah.
So you end up with a slide? Do you end up with a positive image?
Yes, and the slide is gorgeous.
Oh my god! Okay,
I put the slides on a light table. They were gorgeous.
Right, is it medium format, Claire? The roll that you're looking at.
The roll that I'm looking at, is 35mm.
Okay.
The roll I'm looking
see,
at.
if it was medium format, I'd be quite tempted, because to have a slide, a positive slide like that is beautiful. You could sell that. You know, just sell the original negative or that positive even.
And I mean, you know, all right, we are looking at these beautiful pictures that Mike's made in lovely tropical Hawaii. I'm pretty sure that Anglesea's light is much the same. We do call Anglesea the Hawaii of the UK. I think the permanent overcast look is definitely not in any way.
You can laugh, but honestly, on a really lovely sunny day when we do have sun.
I remember that day. That was 2017, wasn't it?
I could feel like I could be on the equivalent of a Greek island. You know, it kind of comes to light. So I'm sure we would get a really, you know, sunny day, and we've got all the scenery. Like my brain's already kind of thought, I could take it here, I could take it there. But I mean, that is just lovely. How long ago was that? How long ago was that taken, Mike?
A couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah.
It might be worth, Claire, doing some reading up on, because like different plants will emit different IR stuff. So I don't know what the kind of the woodlands and forests are made up around there, but it might be worth looking into, because you may find that the stuff you've got around is great for that, or it might be terrible. And if the stuff you've got just isn't emitting a lot of emitting or reflecting a lot of IR stuff, then you're just going to get kind of nothing back from it. Have you tried and actually, I know you have, but some people get some pretty good results using the Lomochrome purple, similar-ish results.
I've got that, and I think I think it was influenced, wasn't it, by that film? But it's different shades, isn't it? So it's more, you know, you get the lilac hues or the purple hues, but I like the reds that you get with the aerochrome film.
It is stunning. It's one of those things, though. I think it's a conversation. Aerochrome is a really good example of this. £100 for a 35mm roll for a film that, in this case, let's assume that the film is good, but it's a technically very difficult film to get right. And it's not even just about the technical difficulty. It's also just you need luck, because you can't see whether or not you're doing stuff right. So that makes that difficult. But then you've got other things like the Polaroid pack film, which is getting bonkers expensive, and is also a bit of a lottery, because some of that has been around for longer and longer. You could spend $100 for a pack of pack film and it not be good stuff. Where do you draw the line? I mean, like for you, Claire, I mean, or is the aerochrome thing, is there anything that you are prepared to pay drastically over the odds to get hold of, or have paid drastically over the odds to get hold of?
I love what do you call it, Time Zero film. And I remember, I'm going back now 7 years or something, and I bought some Time Zero, and I can't even remember how much I paid. A lot, and I think I got like one shot from it. You know, it was degraded, and I just thought, well, I've done, you know, I've done it now, so I wouldn't get it again. And I always live in hope that Time Zero will, or an equivalent of Time Zero will come back. But it's just I think you're talking me into it, you know?
Wow.
Well,
What
look at
is-
it this way. You've always wanted to shoot it.
Yeah,
You've never shot it. You probably won't shoot it unless you do it now.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Do it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming to summer
Do it
here.
once. Get one roll. Shoot one roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be amazing.
That's what I
It
say.
could be amazing. Yeah, that's what you say. All right. Okay. So, Mike, same question to you. Like you said that you wouldn't spend $100 on this. It's too rich for your blood. But is there anything that you would play? Is there a film type that you would go, okay, actually, I love this so much and it's no longer available. I will pay a dumb price for it if I see it.
You know, it would depend, like what John said, if it's for a project
Yeah.
or something
Mhm.
like that, and I have a vision that I want to achieve, and maybe I'll be making prints or a book or whatever, then yeah, I would.
Yeah.
But just to pick it up to rando, shoot it, I don't think so. You know,
Yeah.
well, I just bought a Pentax 6.7 again,
Mm.
and
Again.
I was actually on the Negative Positive podcast
Mhm.
like a
Those-
week or two
those
ago.
naughty boys.
With Mike, and we were talking about cameras that you purchased in the past have sold only to buy again later, and I've
Mhm.
probably done it a dozen times, and Pentax 6.7 is now on that list as well because I just bought another one the other day. But it was really cool because it's a local guy here, and he let me see the camera, and it was in beautiful, almost mint condition, really nice. He was a photographer here for a long time, so he sold me the 105 2.8 lens with it, I think, and then a 45 millimeter lens with it. And when I got it, it was only exposing half the frames. And he said, "Oh, you know what? I'll pay for the CLA." So I sent it off to this Pentax guy, and he's fixing it now. And so now I'm going to have a Pentax that has a CLA, freshly repaired. It's going to be a joy. And the guy gave me a huge bag of Provia 100F.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I think there was 10 5-pack boxes in there that he gave me. So
Oh.
that definitely sweetened the deal. He's like, "Here's some film if you want it." I don't know. It's been in the freezer for like 10 years, but I don't know if it's any good, but you can have it. I was like,
it's all
"Okay,
right."
thank you." I'll take that. Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just sell that and pay for the camera. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, right.
No, that's
No, I'm going to shoot it all because that's basically all I shoot for color is slide film. So
it's lovely.
really
It's
happy
really
about
lovely film.
Yeah.
I think that thing of, as you said, and you as well, John, like if you've got something very particular in mind that you know what you want to do and you're doing it with a purpose, that I think makes sense. But it's the only
So
time
the reason I bought this camera is because just of this trip coming up with my family. Right?
Mhm.
I have my Minolta autocord, which I love, but I wanted something more for, I don't know, landscape, something with a wide lens, and I think the Pentax 6.7 with that 45 millimeter and then having the 105 for portraits and stuff was the perfect camera for the trip because I don't want to overload myself with gear. So I'm basically just going to bring those two in a bunch of medium format film and shoot everything in medium format.
I'm the same. Like I've got a Mamiya 7, and I'm like, I keep toying with selling it because the prices for those have gone
Don't do it, John.
astronomical. But I know, yeah, that's the thing. I know at some point I'll be like, oh, damn, that's the perfect camera for this situation, and I want to buy it back again. So it's like I can't sell it no matter what. Like,
I want one, John. So maybe you could loan it to me, and then.
What have you got in return? You could get that roll of aerochrome. I'll shoot that.
Yeah.
No, of course you can borrow it anytime, Claire. It's fine.
So, John, is there anything that you would pay over the odds for film stock-wise? I can't imagine there is.
I 8x10 Polaroid. I'd love to try that.
Yeah,
and I'd also like to try wet plate. You know, like I've got a couple of for both of those. Just thinking about taking portraits with them. But I want to get better at taking portraits before I'd ever commit to using them. But as a medium, I think they both suit portraiture. Perfectly. So, but yeah, so expensive to even like consider starting those. So
Once
Yeah.
you get to 8x10, it's crazy, right? Once you get to those larger format, just the film holders alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that direct positive paper so much. I wanted to shoot it in 8x10, and just looking at the prices of, because I think how cool would it be to have portraits or whatever done on that direct positive stuff if you get it right, or landscape even. Just the cost of the cameras and the lenses and the film holders, and then the paper itself, you know, and the film prices. It's just, it's out of my range for how much I shoot and all the other stuff that I do with photography. So it really is just all up to what your objectives are and what you normally do, right? And your finances. I mean, because shit, that could be just pocket change to somebody, you know.
Like Claire.
$100 a roll, that's it.
Yeah, that all. Chicken feed. I think that is the other thing, though, isn't it? Like it's probably to spend big on something that you're experimenting with. That feels risky to me. Again, you know, if money's not an issue to you, then fine, do whatever. You know, get on with life and go for it. But to try something that you've not ever used before for the first time expensively, because no matter how that breaks,
quid, Graeme, come on, what's 100 quid tonight at the bar?
I could buy nearly 2 Enlargers for that. So that's what 100 quid is. But what I mean is, like, if it goes badly, you don't have enough time to really figure out why it's gone badly. You've got one roll. Was the problem the roll? Was it you? Was it the light? You just don't know, and you've got no follow-up with it. And if you
buy more than one, though, they get cheaper and cheaper. It's one of those things. Buy one.
How much cheaper do they get, Claire? How much cheaper? Buy 4, and they come down to only £80 a roll.
Yeah, something like that.
But that's the worst thing. Like, imagine you buy a roll of this stuff, Claire. Imagine you buy a roll for £100 and you shoot it, and it's the best thing ever, and that's it. Now, every roll of film you buy is going to cost you £100. What do you do then, Claire?
I don't know. Have to be very specific. I live in hope. I live in hope that right now there's someone living on Anglesey or in North Wales, and they've got a secret stash of Kodak Aerochrome film, and I'll just happen to come across them.
May as well.
Yeah,
Seems like a good thing to do. Seems like a good thing to do.
No, but I'd love to do the I'd love to do the Polaroid 8x10 as well, John. We should maybe think about, because it's the whole buying the processors and everything, isn't it? What costs the money? Maybe we should.
Do you know anybody that's got like an actual processor?
Do I know?
Yeah. Do you know anybody that owns a processor?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
In this country?
Not in this country, I'm afraid.
Remember to ask the follow-up question, John. This is Claire we're talking to. You're clearly not on the right wavelength, John. It would be very cool. But again, I think personally, I would suffer with such paralysis with something like Polaroid 8x10, just knowing that if you mess up a shot, if you make a mistake, which when you're shooting any large format, you're only one small brain fart away from just a simple mistake that wrecks a frame. And normally that frame is going to cost you a few pounds. But if you've just trashed, I mean, how much does it cost to shoot a single frame of 8x10 Polaroid? 50 quid?
No.
More than that?
It's £150, isn't it? A pack for, is it 10 shots? Is it 10 shots or 8 shots?
I bet it's not 10.
It's probably
I think it's eight shots.
Okay, so 25. I'm bad at maths, but a shot. Yeah, I wouldn't. That would stop me from taking pictures. It just would.
But Graeme, you're buying motorbikes every other week on eBay. It's like,
yeah, that's all right. Everyone loves it. Mike, you've got my back here, right? Motorbikes are a sensible thing to spend money on.
I was holding $12,000 in cash in my hand. They're just little pieces of paper, right? And that other thing was a Harley Davidson. And I was like, oh, that's way cooler than these little pieces of paper.
Yeah, absolutely. See, Mike understands that when you're spending money on motorbikes, that's an investment, Claire. That's a financially shrewd thing that you're doing with your money. And like cameras, one is never enough. 3 might be too many, according to Sinead. 3 might be technically too many, so I need to work on that. Before we get out of here, I just want to very quickly, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I need to mention this because much like Mr. Gutterman on the Negative Podcast, Positive Podcast, and of course Andre, I'm now basically too good for you people because I have a Leica.
Oh, that's
I am now a
He's
Leica man.
showing off now. He's showing
Yeah,
off.
I am showing off. This beautiful Leica. This is a Leica 2, and it's beautiful, and I absolutely love it. And it was a gift from the wonderful Rachel. It was a birthday gift from the wonderful Rachel. I have, in true Leica enthusiast, horror-inducing style, besmirched it because the lens that's currently on here is a Jupiter 3. No, not Jupiter 3, Jupiter 8 lens, a Russian Jupiter 8 lens. Because I don't have any Leica lenses for it. I'm not quite that posh yet. But yeah, I have this. So this is absolutely gorgeous. I've never used one of the Barnack Leicas. It's great. You can hopefully see. So you have two viewfinders. You have one viewfinder for focusing, and then another viewfinder for actually framing your shot with. Very much like my Zeiss Super Iconta, my old folding camera. It's really lovely. Again, I love this because it's the perfect Leica for me in that it would definitely horrify Leica purists. It's got a little bit of blue tack on the flash mount for some. Yeah, I don't know quite what the blue tack's there for, but it's got a bit of blue tack wedged in there, which I am a huge fan of. And it's had a PC sync port just whammed right into the engraving on the top of it in the best style. And that brings me so much joy knowing that it would bring some people so much horror. I watched a couple of videos. So I got this last week. Actually, Rachel gave it to me wrapped up several weeks ago when I did the wedding shoot for her with Hamish. She said, "Oh, here's your birthday gift / thank you for doing this wedding thing." I said, "Oh, thanks very much. I'm going to save it." And I actually opened up when I was talking to her on the phone. She was saying "Happy Birthday." Too short. It was a very short rendition of "Happy Birthday," but it's the thought that counts. Anyway, and I was completely bowled over, as you can imagine. But later that day, because I wanted to get filming it straight away, I thought I'm going to watch some videos because I know you have to be a bit careful loading these old style Barnack rangefinders because of the way that the shutter works. It can catch on the film if you just use it with the ordinary leader on a roll of film. So I watched some videos and it just happened. I just went on YouTube, Googled it, and like the two videos that I watched, both of which had menus, the people who were clearly shooting with these rangefinders and were using them and actively were like, "We're sat here at a thing, here's how we do it. You need to make this longer leader. So we'll just bite it at the end here and carefully tear it back and make a thing." And there were just people losing their mind in the comments going, "That's not the way you do it. There's a proper thing and you cut it and it's like, I mean, they seem to be just fine doing it the way they do." So that's very exciting. So I haven't yet tried eating my way through a roll of film to fit it on there. I did cut it, but not very well. But it seems fine. It seems fine. So yes, very excited about that. And Simon, who we saw today, has lent me a couple of very nice fancy lenses to try out with it. A Canon P lens, Canon P 50mm 1.4 lens, which I'm looking forward to trying. And the Jupiter, what number Jupiter was it, John? Do you remember? That might have been the Jupiter 3, or it might have been the Jupiter 11.
It's 3. Let's say 3.
Pick a number between 0 and 150, and it was that Jupiter. Pick your Jupiter. So
it's very nice.
That's very cool. It was very nice, yeah. So that was very cool. So yes, oops, I've just moved out of the frame. Just got to see a picture of my cats very quickly.
You're going to be in the expensive shots challenge now, Graeme, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. None of this cheap rubbish for me anymore. I'm too good for that now. I'm just, yeah. Like I said, you're lucky I'm talking to you people, you non-Leica owners. So yeah, it was a pretty awesome birthday surprise that was.
So talking about your birthday as well, some of our wonderful listeners have sent some messages in for you.
Okay.
Have you got wind of this? So at the start of last week's episode, I snuck in a special request for people to send in some messages. Your face.
Okay.
So I've got a little video to play now. I think it's about 10 minutes long. Messages. And some lovely little video footage as well. So here we go. Are you ready?
No.
Happy birthday, Graeme. John said we should send some sort of recording in to congratulate you for your birthday. So that's what I'm doing. And I know you said that you like to always see where people are and what they're doing, what they're working on. It, I'm sure, is very lonely sitting in front of your microphone there and not getting to see all of us. So here I am, and I will take you on a little tour around my workspace, what is photographically relevant, and just kind of show you around. All right, so this is my office guest room photography space. So I've got my cameras on display over my computer here. I just put in these cabinets, which look nice. That little camera in the middle is my Beltica. That's my Cheap Shots camera. That's definitely your fault. Down on the right, you'll see the Zorky 4. That's also definitely your fault. And here over on the right, that's all my digital equipment. And some old classic lenses. I guess you can blame Simon Forster and those guys for that, but... well, I heard about the Classic Lenses podcast on Sunny 16 as well, so that's also your fault. Some backpacks, my negative folders, and then we're going to swing around here. And this is my little magnet board where I put all my prints. They kind of live there and get swapped around as things are more or less current. This is actually my jewelry workbench, but I haven't used it for jewelry in ages. I put all my developing trays there when I'm using it as a darkroom. That is my copy stand. My camera goes on there. And then I put my little LED pad on the counter and digitize my photos that way. There's my red light for when I am in darkroom mode. And I just put up some blackout material on that black Velcro there, and have a nice little darkroom. There's my Enlarger and all the stuff that I need for that. And then down below I've got all my chemicals, and in the shoebox there are my developing tanks for when I'm developing film. Some tripods, my flashes, a background system. Yeah, and there's some cases for my camera gear. The Hasselblad goes in the top one. The Pentax 6x7 goes in the lower one. Yeah, and just a sofa for guests or when people are around. So I hope you enjoyed getting to see where I spend my photographic time. You may have noticed that I said it's your fault a few times during that tour, like with the Cheap Shots camera and with the Zorky camera, and I should have said it when I was mentioning the developing film at home gear, and maybe also my camera scanning and listening to other podcasts like the Negative Positives podcast or the Classic Lenses podcast. Those are both great shows that I heard about from listening to the Sunny 16. So I guess you're guilty by association of getting me hooked on them. And I was really lucky to start my photographic journey as well as my analog photographic journey about at the same time. And it almost coincided with when you guys started Sunny 16. So I've been listening since the beginning and have just been kind of following along with you the whole time. And the show's been inspiring or helpful for a lot of things. It's really kept me company on the way. And I just want to thank you for all the work and time you put into that. I know it must be quite a lot of behind the scenes as well as your actual presence on the show. And so there are lots of people like me who are listening to you every week. Look forward to hearing your sunny disposition whenever you're around. And I think the whole photographic community is much better off for having you and the team at Sunny 16 in our lives. So if I was a bit more drunk, I would get into the drunk I love you man speech right now, but it's still early today, and we'll have to save that for another time. Hope you have a fantastic birthday. Keep up the great work. Enjoy playing with your new light panels, and just keep being the sunny guy that you are. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hello, this is Mike Gutterman from the Negative Positives podcast, and I wanted to, being a musician, a world famous musician, I I wanted to write Graeme a birthday song for his birthday. And, I started to write one of my pretty little melodies with a little delay and some reverb and some atmospheric stuff. But I thought, you know what? Graeme's kind of abrasive. And I wanted to write something a little harder because as you get older, that harder is something that you struggle with at times. So here you go, Graeme. Here's a little ditty for you. Happy birthday, brother.
Well, hello, Governor. It's Graeme's birthday. A happy birthday. Hello, Governor. It's Graeme's birthday. A happy birthday.
Hey, everybody stay positive and shoot some cool film photos.
This is Aaron Alfano wishing you a happy birthday. I'm a longtime listener to the show. Really appreciate all the hard work you put into it. You do a great job. So thanks. And again, wishing you a happy birthday with lots of good friends, good food, and good light. Best wishes, buddy.
Hi Graeme, Ian Wallace here, wishing you a very happy birthday and hope you have lots of fun with those new lights.
Happy bearded birthday to Graeme from Chicago. The Sunny 16 podcast is always a bright spot to my day, sending my best wishes and sunny weather to the whole crew. I hope you all acquire your dream camera, lens and or gear very soon. Cheers, Gary.
Hey, I just wanted to say happy birthday to Graeme. This is Graeme Young from the Homemade Camera Podcast, and I figured since it's your birthday, we could, bury the hatchet, and tomorrow you can become my nemesis once again. But for today, I wish you very happy birthday tidings. I hope your birthday cake was yummy. Somebody spanked you. All of those good things.
Hello, Graeme. Billy Sanford here, calling in to wish you a very happy birthday. As serendipity would have it, this week also marks the 1-year anniversary of me listening to the show. I believe that first show was one of the backing paper episodes when you used to have your crack researchers investigate random facts about the coffee donors. So that helped kick off a year of me learning more and more about this film community and all of the lovely people in it and making new virtual friends around the world. So along those lines, I just wanted to thank you for being such a fun and enthusiastic ambassador for film. I should also say that on an image you shared not long ago from your dark shed, I thought I saw the sticker I sent you on the side of your film refrigerator. And I thought, oh look, Graeme's got the sticker up. And then I thought, I'm not sure Graeme eats meat. Hopefully that wasn't inappropriate. For the listeners, I live near Birmingham, Alabama in the States, and here locally we shorten the name of the city to B-Ham, and these stickers have the letter B and a picture of ham on them. So allow me to take the opportunity, just in case, to say no offense intended. Seriously though, I really do appreciate all you've done and continue to do for the show and the community. I hope that you and Sinead and Will and your boys and your cats and your motorbikes and your cameras are all well, and hope that you had a really special birthday. Take care.
There once was a gardener who made podcasts for me and you, of cameras and lights and photos by night. His selfies are all topless too. Graeme from Sunny 16 is always so terribly keen to break jolly looks and read photo books, but still hasn't made his own zine. They were an ode to Graeme, written by Dave Walker for Radio 4 Poet Corner.
Pemberley Happy's Graeme, happy birthday. Hope that you're having a nice day.
Hello, mate. Happy birthday. I hope you've had a really good day and got some great presents and stuff like that you can enjoy. Things that you probably shouldn't break, perhaps. But that's all good. I look forward to hearing all about it and talking to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday, Graeme. We're here at Ilford. You can probably tell.
Happy birthday, old man. Hopefully you're not cutting off anyone's fingers with your shears.
I know, right. Scary stuff. Yeah, we thought it would be the ideal place to send you a little birthday message and hope you've had a boss day from up north. So yeah, hope it's been well.
See you soon, hopefully. And bring some of those nice cookies.
Oh yeah, we need to get Sinead to make some more millionaire shortbread.
Yeah, you're not allowed on until you bring them.
Every time.
Graeme, it's Jeff and Gabe from I Dream of Cameras.
Happy birthday.
It's
birthday. Very exciting. It's an amazing day.
We're so grateful for you.
Yes, very, very, very thankful. And just so you know how much of an impact you have on our lives, and especially my life, I have traded every single camera that I own for a Zorky. So no more Leicas, no more Nikons, no more Rolleiflex, no more anything. These are borrowed cameras behind me, just the last 3 left. But you've inspired me to get into Russian cameras. And I think that the Zorky is the one to start with. So I thank you for that inspiration. I haven't received it yet, but the person I've never met in Russia assures me it'll be here this year. So I'm very excited. And in honor of your birthday, I have started a clean slate and I will be Zorkified thanks to you.
There you go. And as for me, I think you know that I'm a bit of a songsmith. That's probably what I'm best known for, as a matter of fact, in my career in the entertainment industry. And so to honor you, I gave a great deal of thought as to what sentiment we really wanted to express, because you gave us life. Our podcast exists because of you. You are in our hearts. And so this is a very heartfelt statement to you about our feelings. Here we go. Why are you shirtless, shirtless? Please don't be shirtless, shirtless. God help us. Shirtless, shirtless, shirtless. Why are you shirtless, shirtless? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Put something on.
Please.
Happy birthday, Graeme.
Wow. What does one say after that? Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. That was, oh boy, that was something.
Thank you, everybody.
That was amazing.
I'd like to sing for you, Graeme.
Go on. Oh, God. You're
Yes.
go for
All right,
it.
ready? Here we go. Here we go.
Hold on. We're going big.
This is your birthday song. It is not very long.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. That was beautiful. That was incredibly sweet. Thank you so much, everybody. Even thank you, Mike Gutterman, for that. Oh, that beautiful song. I mean, wow.
The first time I heard that, I thought this is like being inside your head, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you've been in the car today with the music I've been listening to. You got a pretty good idea. Yeah, I can't believe we're coming up on like, Jesus, actually we're a month away from it being 5 years of doing this now. And that was the nicest thing. That was just lovely. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time to do that. And thank you, John. I think.
Yeah. It got a bit, this is your life at one point, didn't it?
It did. I feel like I might be dead and nobody's told me.
This is your last ever show. It's over.
Oh, by the way, you're fired.
Yeah.
Well, that was amazing. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time to do that. That was wonderful. That was very wonderful. Oh, can we get out of here now? Because that's all quite awkward. As a true British person, that would feel quite awkward about all that. At least I've got to see me looking awkward for the last 10 minutes. Okay. Anything that I need to let people know about? Mike,
Oh, let's.
Where can people follow you?
I'm on the Instagram at aloha_Big Mike.
Aloha_Big Mike. An excellent follow. Mike's personal work is absolutely stunning. You should go and see it. It is. It's beautiful. Your work is beautiful, Mike. And as somebody who is lucky enough to own a few of your prints, your printing is also amazing, which Instagram will never truly do justice to, but you just have to take my word for it. It's great. And you can always just go across to Hawaii and go and visit Mike at the Hawaii Darkroom and do some printing with you, right?
That's very true. I meet a lot of people, travelers who come by and stop by, and they just pop in for the day and develop film. And I don't even charge people money, to tell you the truth. So
you're a great businessman, Mike.
I think
I would completely fail. So the Darkroom is just, we got a couple members, and together we pitch in, and we're able to cover the rent, and that's all I give a shit about, right? And I don't care about making a penny from it. It's not the objective. So if people are traveling, absolutely stop by, develop your film, make some prints. It'll be good fun. Have some beers.
Have some beers.
Field trip to Hawaii, I think.
A field trip to Hawaii. We can do it after we visited Jeff and Gabe. We can swing via Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite an expensive field trip, but still, it's worth it. And we'll put the link in the show notes for the link to the blurb so people can go and see and buy the fantastic zine because it looks beautiful. It's absolutely worth going and checking it out and picking up a copy from Blurb. And like I said, who knows? There may or may not be a discount on there as you listen to this. We'll put what is it, Team 25?
Yeah, capital letters, team, and the number 25.
Team 25, lovely stuff. Claire, is there anything that you want to let people know about this week?
No, but I was just thinking when Billy Sanford, hasn't he got a lovely radio voice?
He has got a lovely radio voice.
It's actually my 1 year anniversary as well of being with you. Yeah, I hope I haven't lowered the tone, but
well, no, you've raised the tone.
This is the complete opposite, Claire.
It's gone quickly, hasn't it? A year.
It really has. The year has flown by, which, given the year that it's been, maybe we should be grateful for that.
Yeah.
And John, anything you would like to let people know about?
No, I'm done.
You're done. You've had a lovely day with me. That's all you want to let people know about. Well, listeners, thank you so much. Clearly, the fact that Rachel was getting in touch with us from Ilford, a message from Ilford, I guess that means we can maybe look forward to some more stuff coming from Ilford soon. I think she's let the cat out of some bags there with that disreputable Matt Parry from Ilford wearing his mask, which is a good look for Matt. Anything that covers his face has got to be a win. You're welcome, Matt. We will be back with you again next week. On Sunny 16 Presents, as I mentioned earlier, we've had a show just go out about shooting underwater, which came up on today's show. Paul Friday talking about his experiences and the cameras he's used and stuff like that. And also, as you listen to that, we'll have had the most recent episode of I Dream of Cameras with the fabulous Jeff and Gabe on there. I don't know whether they'll sing the shirtless song in there or whether that was a real once-off thing. Let's maybe hope that's a real once-off thing. It was beautiful. And for those of you listening, just know that you avoided a real horrifying moment on the video stream. Thank you, John, for your production efforts, I think. Pleasure. We will play you up, as always, with the fabulous Rachel and her band Roja, whose music you can find on Spotify, Amazon, Bandcamp, all the best places. We'll be back with you again next week. Until then, thank you so much for listening, and goodbye!
Goodbye!
Aloha!